There are countless species on Earth. Fascinating forms of life, some of which share characteristics with other species, although some of them appear to be from a different region of the galaxy, but across the majority of species on the planet, one is the most noticeable. Impressive, fascinating, and among the largest creatures are elephants. Huge, and here we are on a second fact. We are discussing the background and some intriguing aspects of the Hello, Gentlemen. What's going on? Welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. What we're looking for today is something alternative that we're genuinely investigating the elephant because, in the first place, one of my favorite creatures, and this is the canal, which we believed we should discuss the tiniest creatures here, the huge globe in which we presently reside, and considering that, I suppose if you guys, what animal did you have as a pet? If so, why me? I probably haven't if I had a sizable backyard, an elephant. In light of this, one of our updates when we asked you people to make some declared our intention to do animals, some individuals, such as Carabim, what Perfect advised us to do elephants first, and since given that we are discussing animals, would like to learn more XD information animal videos, what you should do guys want to see and understand elephants. A favorite animal of mine, and I hope now that they are you enjoy them too. Recognized creature that resides in the order of Provosticidae pertaining to various extinct creatures, including the woolly mammoths, which includes them in the LFS family, which was initially introduced by Carl Linnaeus, a biologist from Sweden. The African elephant didn't exist in 1758. The name it deserves until 1797, one of German naturalists gave it his name. Following Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, there are currently 8 species of globally. There are elephants like the African elephant and the wild jungle elephant and the well-known Asian elephant, and all of these magnificent animals, excluding the elephant with a 48-year lifespan, typically have a lifetime between from 60 to 70 years old. But with one distinction, what makes these great books so fascinating: animals' ability to communicate. First of all, they are obnoxious and trumpet. The range of sound is vast, and with their excellent ears, and they can hear this loud sound communicating up to 5 to 6 kilometers apart. However, their communication abilities, they are not merely vocal like humans. Additionally, bond by petting. The elephants love to use their trunks and bodies rubbing against one another, and this likely results from the fact that their skin is very delicate that they are aware of the flies landing as they swarm around on their skin. They have this delicate skin. Also prefer to defend, particularly from the deadly sun UV versus these amazing. Sometimes animals may coat themselves using mud to stay cool, but also to keep their skin protected, despite the fact that possibly as a result of them having an exceptionally high intelligence in general. In actuality, they are nearly as intelligent, if not more, than primates. Elephants capable of feeling feelings, that their awareness of their own abilities, greatest brains of any animal in the world. Animal Kingdom's ability to demonstrate fear of joy, sorrow, and even empathy with regard to dying members of their species and various other species. For instance, when environmentalists became well known worldwide, Lawrence Anthony, an elephant trainer, passed away. They collaborated with elephants in the past, traveled a great distance to get home. Then when it comes to the morning when their own species perishes, they even sob while crying. This could be because, given that elephants have a reputation for have excellent memories, yet they don't forget things for a very long time. Perhaps elephants may even possess an built internal mapping system, and however, remembering where things are not only stuff, neither are where to travel. That elephants are excellent at. For instance, they can detect up to 12. As for the African elephant, miles. They claim that range is superior to all others. Species that are mostly familiar to you. You are aware that the elephant is the largest animal life is present on Earth. For instance, an African wild elephant weighs up to 15,000 pounds or 7,000 kilos, the largest elephant ever seen, which, regrettably, was shot in 1956. Currently, Angola weighed 11,000 kilos. I'm genuinely astounded by this. When it comes to elephants, I consider their size, and I question how these animals can when they are so large and hefty, swim despite what you and I might believe their size is what enables them to, despite the fact that swimming their height and weight are what keeps them afloat, and they also use snorkels out of their trunks if they become too deep, indicating their affection for they developed in that manner thanks to swimming. Let's be honest, when it comes to our worries, the largest animal isn't truly the largest. A lot of fear, ironically, though, they don't feel threatened. Like you and I would believe, but instead of being scared of tiny things, ants, bees, and a few other insects. African farmers stand up for their by encircling their fields with. When it comes to elephants and beehives, one thing is certain, though. I must discuss one of the greatest acknowledged characteristics, which is there whenever we consider their trunks. It's amazing how they rolled up. 10 water layers, and this a certain appendage has over 40,000, and to give you a sense of that, there are just 640 muscles in the human body. People do believe the trunk contains bones inside of it, but not necessarily. Even though the trunk might not have had bones, are a highly strong component of their body, yet it may also be incredibly sensitive. And being able to pick one up with such accuracy, a single grain of rice, and naturally their different species have existed on the globe that do possess a trunk similar to the elephant and the woolly mammoth, respectively, or the mastodon. Yet oddly enough, the living ancestor who is closest to these little fellas are the elephants, right? It may not appear that two axes are connected to an elephant due to the lack of. They are limited by their size and the trunk. 60 to 70 centimeters in length overall. The scientists believe that these elephant-related animals include because of how similar their scrotum is like the elephant's, still hiding in its, even their tusks, their stomachs similar to how elephants grow their incisors' teeth as opposed to canine teeth, as most other creatures, like the warthog. Additionally, elephants to operate in a strict hierarchy well, in a family setting. They headed by the matriarch, a large mom she is. The monarch who reigns over all elephants were present in this. They are a smart social group, which additional female elephants have concentrated on safeguarding the children of herd. These tiny baby elephants right away, up until the age of 3, rely on their mothers. Years old, and the elephant's female has longest gestational duration ever recorded, the largest animal in the globe, measuring the equivalent of 22 months for females calving once every 2 to 5 years, as well as for African elephants quit having children until you're 50. But one of the beautiful things, as I mentioned, it's not simply the size of this beast that the mother who stands up for her own child. Other herd females who contribute must keep an eye on their young, and one reason is this is due to the birth of their young. They are blind yet can stand shortly after they become male at birth. Elephants, however, don't quite match the similarly. They typically live alone, departing the herd when they are about 12 or 15. Now, the tusks of men are typically greater in size or thickness than females, yet males of the Sri Lankan race species that occasionally occur, often guys discussing issues without tusks. Tusks are one of the reasons behind this. Although elephants are hunted and stolen, scientists are perplexed as to why they are initially taken by poachers, as having learned that their ivory is essentially made of dentin, which nearly all animals on Earth have a skeletal system. The globe, there being none, when it comes to it, it has unique components. These tusks may not appear enormous to us and substantial, but 2 of these can reach due to the up to 441 pounds, and hunting throughout the continents of Asia and Africa. One of the 96 elephants slaughtered each day is of the causes are as follows: because these animals journey far, and even they are shielded in some areas of African nations that they have traveled to. 70% of their available spectrum is in anodal, unprotected zones, in contrast to believe that not all elephants are listed as an endangered species, like the African elephants are considered vulnerable. The Asian elephant, though, which is categorized as gaze since the only 50% of its people over 7 decades, and despite species may not be endangered as a whole, but must pay close attention to the magnificent creatures, keep them safe, and as a keystone species, they are recognized. Moreover, what is a keystone species? A species that is incredibly rare, vital to the ecology in which it resided, and this is due to the fact that elephants spread 2,000 seeds per square of a plant kilometer per day due to the quantity they consume, how much they poop, And these creatures were observed by when the United States made an announcement international ban on the importation of ivory in 1989 was followed promptly by other nations who acknowledged that elephant poaching was an issue. What other than a place for poaching agricultural cultivation is causing harm? A serious risk to these creatures, as researchers have found that these animals and people can't live together because agriculture farming is prevalent in those places where these animals can find food. Elephants spend up to 12 to 18 on necessities hours eating each day to obtain their consumption of 200 to 600 pounds of food. Despite the appearance that they consume, they are a valuable addition to the circle the life. So thank you for watching, people. One of such people has been Dave Wawa. Our initial films discussing an animal, an elephant, as I do, asked if you have any recommendations. Let's make a future effects video. We've mentioned it there in the comment. Also, the area below if you guys want to visit our Patreon page to contribute. Due to the fact that we are giving oriented, truly committed and fantastic vids for you too, and those intense videos seriously consider the subject, because besides that, this is our first time deep dive into genuine video honoring the great elephant wild animals that serve as a reminder of this. Despite the creature's intelligence, and however, it still requires our assistance to, if not for these magnificent animals, survive. Various ecologies would never, because of their incredible brains and emotional intelligence and having excellent social structures. Animal with compassion for its own kind and others are a mother's guardian, and with such power and grace that, even despite being an animal. Thank you for watching.